Join ForumIAS Academy, trusted by hundreds of toppers, including IAS Rank 1 Shruti Sharma.
Hello friends, this is Vijay. Welcome to ForumIAS Hindu Daily. In our today's news discussion, we are going to see the list of topics in the display. Without any delay, let us dive into the first topic. The first topic is US is trying to encircle China, the Chinese foreign minister. Its significance is in preliminary GS1 and mains GS2. In this article today, we are going to discuss the South China Sea map also. So, the significance for the rest of the articles also had been given in the slide. Kindly have a look. And these are the articles we are going to discuss today. The first one is, as I already told you, it's related to the Chinese Foreign Ministry. Then the second one, the importance of women-led digital solutions. Then the third one, how did the Treaty on High Seas come through? So recently, the UN IGC, they passed on treaty related to the marine biodiversity conservation. So regarding that, the article came in today's newspaper. And the fourth one, India sending 20,000 tons of wheat to Afghanistan via Chabahar. So here also we are going to discuss the map with respect to the Afghanistan and Iran. And this is the last one, exhibition in New Delhi to showcase repatriated artifacts. So this is related to the recovery of the artifacts from the abroad nations. So the article is all about it. Let us discuss very briefly today. So here's the first article and this is the slide. And Chinese foreign minister, he stated that China is facing threat from encircling process followed by US. So recent days you might have known very well that China is following an expansionary policies since 2000. So almost all the regions in the South China Sea have been facing hostility from China. And the regions like the Paracel Island, Scarborough Shoals, Spratly, these all islands have been getting claimed by China. So there have been a spiral of disputes between the nations who are locating in the South China Sea and the China. The countries which are locating in the South China Sea is having conflict with China are the Taiwan, Malaysia, Brunei, Philippines, Vietnam. So these are the countries they are facing hostility from China. And the disputed territories, as I already told you, these are the three most important territories which are under dispute: the Paracel Island, Scarborough Shoals and Spratly. And in this article, I came across two organizations. The one is UPSC and the another one is Quad. Regarding Quad, in our past discussion, we had a brief about it. Today also let me tell you some basics about Quad and AUKUS, AUKUS. So it is one of the it is a tripartite agreement between Australia, UK and US. So these are the three countries, they came into the agreement. It's a tripartite agreement in the year of 2021. So according to this agreement, the US will be transferring its submarine technologies to Australia. And with respect to the technology, it have been affecting the France interest. Earlier, the Australia and France, they were under the agreement, and under the terms of the agreement, France is supposed to transfer the technology related to submarines to Australia. So after the initiation of AUKUS, the Australia, they quashed the deal with the France. So it have been affecting the France interest. And another one key note you need to note here, since the 1958, the US, they hadn't transferred their submarine technology to any nations except UK. So previously, they transferred their submarine technology only to the UK. But these days, they are going to transfer the technology to Australia. So Australia is becoming a second nation to get the submarine technology from US. It is one of the key development which have been happening in the Indo-Pacific region. So US have been transferring the technology to Australia to protect its maritime boundary, and also it is going to further the US interest in the Indo-Pacific region through the participation of Australia. So these are the few things you need to know. And then let us come to the Quad. Quad, the origin of Quad is in the year of 2007 to 2009, when the then PM of Japan, Shinzo Abe, he declared about the initiation of Quad. But the Quad, it got materialized in the year of 2019, and the nations who are in the Quad are India, Japan, US, Australia. So these four countries, these days, they participated in the Malabar exercise. As you know very well, in the previous discussion, we discussed about it. So Quad, actually, it is an informal organization, and they are more concerned for the maritime related interest, and they are not focusing on the landscape related interest. It's purely focusing its objective only on the maritime domain. So these are all the few things you need to know with respect to the today article. Now let us discuss a brief about the South China Sea. Here it is the South China Sea. China is locating here and Taiwan is here. Okay. So already in the recent days, the Taiwan is facing hostility from China. And these are all the few islands which have been under dispute. The first one is Paracel Island. So Vietnam is claiming the Paracel Island, whereas China is also claiming the same by its 9-dash line. So this line, as you know very well, this is the 9-dash line. And by proposing the 9-dash line, China is claiming all the islands in the South China Sea, like Paracel, Spratly, then Scarborough Shoal. So these are all the islands which have been claiming by China. But here, you might have known very well, it is the Vietnamese claim. So Vietnam is claiming Paracel, Spratly, and Brunei is also claiming the Spratly Island. The part of the Spratly Island is getting claimed by both Malaysia and Brunei, apart from China. And Scarborough Shoal, it is getting claimed by Philippines, because Philippines is stating that they are having an exclusive economic zone according to the United Nations Convention till this place. So therefore, they are having a claim over the Scarborough Shoal. This is what they have been claiming. So because of all these disputes, South China Sea have been in the newspaper for past 5 years. So even though we didn't get any questions in the past year, but this year, you might have known very well, these days actually UPSC have been asking the questions from the past 2 to 3 years of current affairs. So there is a huge probability of getting the question from this topic. So you need to know very well about the islands and the related facts in the South China Sea. Now let us move into the next topic. This is the second article, the importance of women-led digital solutions. And Elizabeth Farre, he is a representative of Country Director, UN World Food Program. So he is the author of the article. This article, it occurs huge importance because it actually mingled the factor of women with respect to the digital revolutions. So therefore, kindly go through the article and it will be very helpful from the perspective of answer writing in paper 1 and in paper 3. And why in news? Actually, International Women's Day have been getting celebrated. So the theme for the International Women's Day 2023 is Digital Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality. So this is the theme. And the spread of the technology into the human life is ever expanding, especially since the pandemic. And this is what in the intro part they have been discussing. And you might have known very well, in the agrarian family, women who are having access to mobile and having adequate training, they are having better command over the market information related services. So the need for inclusive technology and the digital education is necessary for a sustainable future. So it is having importance over the sustainable future. In sustainable future, we are looking upon resource optimization, then CO2 emission reduction, and Adaptive and mitigative measures. Adaptive and mitigation measures for the global climate change. So for all this, we are going to enhance the women participation in the agrarian sector, because through the participation of the women with the help of the digital revolution, we can achieve certain parameters with respect to the sustainable future. Therefore, here we are coupling the digital solutions with the role of women to reduce the vulnerabilities. And in the title Nutrition and Empowerment, the author have been discussing about the Poshan scheme. 90% of the employees are women under the Poshan scheme. All the employees are provided with digital gadgets. Digital gadgets means they will be having tablets or mobiles like that, and the necessary skills are also provided to them. Today, almost 3 million cook hum helpers, they are playing a vital role in preparing and providing the hot cooked meals to millions of school children under the scheme. So this is all about the Poshan scheme. Let us discuss a brief recap about the PM Poshan scheme in the end of this article. And you should know, we had been provided training to 3 million cook hum helpers. Okay, so they are nothing but they are the employees stationed under the PM Poshan scheme. Here we need to ensure the hygiene and the food safety, else it will create a lot of issues in the students' academic performance and in their mental health. Therefore, UN World Food Program, regarding UN World Food Program also we are going to discuss in this analysis, but later in another article. With respect to the UN Food Program, they are providing several initiatives, and they are supplying the food crops to the regions which have been affected by conflict and certain other factors, like certain regions they will be facing the political destabilization and all. So there also they are extending their hands. And the UN Food Program, they are in partnership with the governments of Odisha and Rajasthan. Okay, the UN Food Program, they are in partnership with the governments of Odisha and Rajasthan, and they provided adequate training in using the modules in those applications like FOSAF MDM. So this is the application which is available in the Play Store, and even you can download the FOSAF MDM and you can gain access to the guidelines what they are provided to ensure the food safety and hygiene. And by powering access to digital device, digital literacy and community ownership, these are the three vital things we are clubbed together, and through this we are providing fresh energy in women to become a nutrition champions. So under the Poshan scheme, they are playing a vital role. And here the government of India, they clubbed the digital device access and they provided the digital literacy through the partnership with Women Food Program. And here they ensure the community ownership among the women itself. So therefore, they are infusing the fresh energy in women to become a nutrition champions. And under the title Digital Literacy and Food Security, in the post-pandemic era, almost 18% of the population, they pushed into the poverty due to the extreme out-of-pocket expenditure. So out-of-pocket expenditure, already I explained you, the amount of money the people gushing out from their pocket to treat the illness. So this is what the out-of-pocket expenditure in India, it is in the range of 56%. In the pandemic, most of the people, they got infected by COVID-19. Therefore, this out-of-pocket expenditure was shooted up, and almost 18% of the population from the lower middle class, they pushed below the poverty line. So to pull them back and to reduce the existing poverty levels, it is necessary to unleash the women economic power. For it, we need to provide digital literacy. NFHS 5, they indicates that 54% of the women and 64% of children, they are anemic in the India's urban region. And in a pilot project implemented in Delhi regarding the financial literacy and digital literacy in low income group category, it shows that 70% of the women in the low income category, they are willing to acquire adequate skills related to the digital literacy and financial literacy. And here you should know about the success of JAN Trinity. JAN means Jandan, Aadhaar and mobile. It's JAM, J-A-M, it's not a JAN. So Jandan, Aadhaar and mobile. By clubbing these all three domains, Indian government since 2014 they have been creating the revolution in both digital domain and in the financial domain. So this is the magic that the digital revolution can do among the women. Then under the title gender responsive approach, in India 1/3 of the women they are using mobiles like digital gadgets, whereas in the Asia Pacific it is about the 60%. So in India it is only about the 1/3 of the women, only 33% of the women are using the digital gadgets. The digital divide is also very high in India, which is in the range of 40%. So compared to man, the women are using very low amount of digital gadgets. And in India, with respect to man, almost 72% of men, they are having access to the digital modules. So with respect to the sophistication, the handset of women is very low because most of the women, they are using very low cost modules. And NFHS 5 data shows that 18% of women who are having very low body mass index, and the half of the women who are pregnant, they are anemic. So if we need to propel the digital infusion among the women means we need to provide them certain basic necessary skills. They can use it to harness the nutrition related information from the government schemes, and they can use it to create economic opportunities that ensure long-term food and nutrition. So this is what the author have been discussing through this article. Now let us have a brief recap about the PM Poshan Abhiyan, and we should know some basics about the PM Poshan Abhiyan. In the month of September 2021, the Union Cabinet, they approved the Pradhan Mantri Poshan Shakti Nirman or PM Poshan. So PM Poshan is nothing but Pradhan Mantri Poshan Shakti Nirman. And its objective is to provide one hot cooked meal in government and government aided institutions with a financial outlay of 1.31 trillion. So this is the amount the government have been spending under the PM Poshan Abhiyan. The scheme replaced the national program for midday meal in schools or midday meal scheme. And it has been launched for an initial period of 5 years from 21 to 25. So this is the timeline. And its coverages you should know. In the primary category 1 to 5 and in the upper primary 6th standard to 8th standard, they are entitled to 100 grams and 150 grams of food grains per every working day. They are supposed to get some 100 grams or 150 grams in the primary and upper primary level, through which they will be gaining 700 calories. It also covers students of Balvatikas, and there actually the children will be in the age range of 3 to 5. Therefore, under the scheme, they are also providing some nutritional gardens. So here they will use the locally grown nutritional food items, and here they are clubbing both the FPOs and the self-help groups to promote the local level initiatives. Okay, through the scheme they have been promoting the nutritional gardens, and here they are clubbing the self-help groups and the farmer producer organizations, and through this initiative the local people also will gain some monetary gains. Therefore, it have been promoting the local economic initiatives. And we need to see about the supplementary nutrition. The scheme has a provision for supplementary nutrition for children in aspirational districts and districts those are having the prevalence of high anemia rate. So if there is a anemic rate above 50% means, then the supplementary nutrition will be provided to those districts. And here you should know, it does away with the restriction on the part of center to provide funds only for wheat, rice, pulses and vegetables. Currently, if a state decides to add any component like milk or eggs in the menu means, the center does not bear the additional cost. So the states, by providing their own fund, they can do whatever they want. And here is another concept is there under the scheme, Tithi Bhojan concept. There is also another one concept, Tithi Bhojan concept. It involves the community participation, and through the community participation program, students will get some special foods in certain occasions or during the festivals. So this is the Tithi Bhojan concept. And the social auditing, the local village people, they will be included in the auditing of the scheme, what the output it had provided. Okay, so this is what the social audit. and the nutritional expert will be included under the scheme, and in each district they will be having certain nutritional experts, and they will be providing some advisories to the body mass index. So each and every student, they will be monitored, and the related measures to take to maintain the right body mass index and all will be given. And the scheme, it also involves a DBT. So the people who are working under the scheme, they will get their remunerations through the DBT. This is to ensure no leakage at the level of district administration and other districts and other authorities in the districts. So DBT, it is very important, it is a very important component under the scheme. Now let us discuss the next article. How did the Treaty on High Seas come through? So this is the article title. In the last week, UN member states, they agreed on historic treaty for protecting marine life in international waters that lie outside the jurisdiction of any country. So this is the hot topic in the international arena. And in the UN, during the Intergovernmental Conference on Marine Biodiversity Areas Beyond Natural Jurisdiction, this historic decision was taken. Here in the article, they discussed about the high seas. Here we will discuss the delineation in ocean region according to the UN Convention on the Law of Sea. So here in the map, I think it is very visible to you. So Territorial C baseline. Before that, international waters, internal waters will be there. So internal water is nothing but which are included in the national jurisdiction, and it will be involving the rivers, then estuaries, then mangroves. These things and all will be included in the internal water, and the laws which are applicable in the land will be applicable in the internal waters too. And Territorial Sea baseline. So here the baselines and all will be marked through the satellite images, and the regions which are existing after the Territorial Sea baseline will be termed as a Territorial Sea. As per the UN Convention on the Law of Sea, the Territorial Sea is a belt of coastal waters that extends from the baseline of 12 nautical miles. Here it will be having a 12 nautical miles. Here they had given 12 nautical miles. So it is a sovereign territory of the state. However, the foreign ships, both civilian and military, are permitted innocent passage through it. But the government is having the sole authority to decide whether the passage is innocent or not. And here, the sovereign government, they are also having enormous power to impose the restrictions. So the exclusive economic zone, it starts at the edge of Territorial Sea, but here the next 12 kilometer or 12 nautical miles will be termed as a contiguous zone. It extends from the edge of the Territorial Sea to 24 miles from the baseline. So from the baseline, it will be a 24 miles, and it is a part of EEZ, as I already told you. In this zone, states have limited control in order to curb or penalize the infringement of its customs, immigrations, sanitary or fiscal laws within its Territorial Sea. Only in 4 areas it can enforce laws here. The first one is taxation, customs, taxation, customs, pollution and immigration. All right. Now let us discuss about the exclusive economic zone. Each coastal state, they may claim an EEZ beyond and adjacent to its territorial sea that extends seawards up to 200 nautical miles from its baseline. So this region is 200 nautical miles from its baseline, and almost 176 nautical miles it will be in the exclusive economic zone, and 12 nautical miles it will be in the contiguous zone, and 12 nautical miles will be in the Territorial Sea. So in the EEZ, exclusive economic zone, the coastal states has a sovereign rights for the purpose of exploring, then exploiting, then they can do conservation and managerial measures related to the natural resources, whether living or non-living. It won't bother the government, and they can do all the initiatives what they are willing. And here in the EEZ, exclusive economic zone, the government is having all right to carry out the energy related initiatives, like they can erect wind farms, and they can erect some ocean thermal energy and all. They can extract from this region, and they don't have any restrictions here. And unlike the territorial sea and the contiguous zone, EEZ only allows for the above mentioned aspects alone. So apart from that, the government or the sovereign states, they can't do anything here. And now let us come to the high seas. The high seas, they are the and here is the high seas. Okay, so the ocean surface and water column beyond the EEZ are referred to as high seas, and it is considered as the common heritage of all mankind, and it is beyond any national jurisdiction. Here I had given it is a global common. And apart from high seas, cyberspace, outer space, then airspace. These all are global commons, and Antarctica is also global common. Okay, so but Arctic is not a global common, and Antarctica is a global common. And here the states can conduct activities in these areas as long as they are for peaceful purposes, such as they can do some research related to the marine science or undersea explorations and all, but they can't do any other activities. If they want to do any mining means, they need to get the approval from International Seabed Authority. So International Seabed Authority, they are actually governing the jurisdictions with respect to the high seas. Recently, India acquired underground mining related to the polymagnetic nodules with the approval from International Seabed Authority. And we should know the importance of the high seas. Now let us discuss about the importance of the high seas. And the new treaty, it will enable a more holistic and equitable management of human activities affecting ocean life beyond the national boundaries, and it is going to safeguard the global ocean health, and it will propel the climate resilience, socio-economic well-being, and food security for millions of people. And the high seas treaty, it is also significant. The high seas, they are accounts for 60% of the world's ocean area, and they cover half of the Earth's surface. So here we need to know that they are hosting almost 2.7 lakh known species, many of which are yet to be discovered. And the treaty is crucial for addressing the triple planetary crisis like climate change, biodiversity loss, and the pollution. So this is a triple planetary crisis. Let me erase all the things. Triple planetary crisis. The first one is climate change. Then the second one, biodiversity loss. Then the third one, pollution. So these are the triple planetary crises. And this treaty, it is also vital for achieving the ocean-related goals and the targets of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. So it also obliges countries to conduct environmental impact assessments of the proposed activities on the high seas. And it combines different regional treaties to address threats and concerns across the species ranges. So according to IUCN, in the latest assessment of the marine species, nearly 10% of the species, they are in the risk of extinction. So this is what IUCN have been claiming. And they also estimate that 41% of the threatened species are also affected by climate change. So 41% species, they are affected by climate change. And the issue of climate change in the sea involves implementing other global agreements such as Paris Agreement. So that also that also will be playing a massive role in the future. And Now let us see how long did the process take. UN class, they don't have any legal framework. Therefore, IGC, they initiated the BBNJ as a framework to devise the initiatives regarding climate change and global warming, etc. And as you know very well that UN class, it was adopted in the year of 1982 and it came into existence in the year of 1984, and no legal framework was there. So therefore, in the year of 2015, the UNGA had decided to develop a legal framework, and the IGCs, they came up with a legal instrument of BBNJ. Under the subtitle, what is in the treaty? They have been discussing that through this treaty, 30% of the ocean region have been brought under the protected areas, and they also discussed about the conflict arising in issues over the developing countries' access to benefits reaped from the commercialization of resources, especially the genetic resources. Therefore, it attested that the genetic resource utilization to be done only for peaceful purposes, and regarding that, the Committee on Access and Benefit Sharing will also be set up. So that's how the issue had been resolved. So this is up to the treaty which passed in the last week. Now let us discuss about the International Seabed Authority. So in our last discussion, we discussed about the UN Convention on the Law of Sea, and here we will be discussing the International Seabed Authority. And the International Seabed Authority, it was established in the year of 1982, and this treaty, this authority, it actually imbibed under the UN Convention on the Law of Sea. So International Seabed Authority, it is the institution through which parties to UN clause, they will be design and control all the mineral related resource activity in the area, and International Seabed Authority, they will be providing approval to the plans submitted by the national governments. So with the approval of the International Seabed Authority only, any nation, they can do underwater seabed mining in the region, especially in the high seas. Okay. So this is how the International Seabed Authority have been playing a role. And now let us discuss the next article. India sending 20,000 tons of wheat to Afghanistan via Chabahar. So this is the article titled, India, it actually signed an agreement with the UN World Food Program for the distribution of 50,000 metric tons of wheat that it has committed to sending. Okay, so it is a part of humanitarian assistance. So according to this agreement, India will be sending another 20,000 tons of wheat to Afghanistan via Chabahar. And here we should know what is meant by UN World Food Program. In this article, we will be discussing it. And as I already told you, it actually committed of sending some 20,000 tons of wheat to Afghanistan. So India declared it in India Central Asia Joint Working Group on Afghanistan. It was a meeting. So it was conducted in the recent time. So there actually India committed. And we should know what is meant by the UN World Food Program. The UN World Food Program, it was established in the year of 1961 by United Nations to help alleviate world hunger. And its headquarters is in Rome, Italy. The first development program is launched in Sudan in the year of 1963. So Sudan was the first country which was benefited under the UN World Food Program. And its governing body, it consists of some 36 member states. So they provide the intergovernmental support, direction and supervision of World Food Program's activities. The organization is headed by Executive Director. So he is the Executive Director, and he will be selected by the UN Secretary General and the DG of FAO. So DG of FAO and the UN Secretary General, they will be electing the Executive Director. And in the year of 2020, the UN World Food Program, they got the Nobel Award for Peace. And it works in over 80 countries to bring life-saving food to people displaced by conflict. And it are also providing food support to the regions which have been affected by the political instability. So that also you need to keep in mind. Now let us discuss about the map of Afghanistan. And here is the map. And Chabahar port, you might have know very well, it is in Iran. And from Chabahar to Zahedan will be here. So Chabahar to Zahedan is also in Iran. So recently the Zahedan, it have been multiple times appearing in newspaper. So please have a look on the Zahedan and the related geographical factors in Zahedan. And between Chabahar port and Zahedan, India constructed the railway line. Okay, so after the transit arrival in Chabahar port, it will be transported to Afghanistan through the railway line, and till Zahedan we are having railway line. And from Zahedan, the connectivity road is there, so it will be connecting Zahedan with the Garland Highway. And in the Garland Highway, India also provides support to the construction of the Garland Highway, and the cities in the Garland Highway are Herat, Kandahar, and Ghazni, then Kabul, then Mazar-e-Sharif. So it looks like a garland, therefore the highway was termed as a Garland Highway. And these are all the few important regions in Afghanistan you should know very well. And under the Ashabad agreement, India is having a proposal to connect to the Central Asia. So for connecting the Central Asia also, we will be using the same transit route what we are maintaining for Afghanistan. So the goods, if we are dispatching from Mumbai, means it will be reaching the Chabahar port. Then from Chabahar port, it will be transit to the Zahedan through the railway line. And from Zahedan, it will pass through the roadways. Okay, so there is a connectivity highway is there. So through that highway, the goods and all will be taken into the Afghanistan. Then it will be distributed. And Salma Dam, it is a Indo-Afghanistan friendship dam. So this is also in the newspaper. And have a look on Salma Dam. And this is the second consignment India have been sending after Taliban came to power. So now let us dive into the next article. Exhibition in New Delhi to showcase repatriated artifacts. So this is the article title. So in the silence of G20, there was a cultural exhibition in Madhya Pradesh. So the government, they stated that they will be showcasing all their repatriated artifacts in New Delhi. So this is all about the news, and the highlighted part of the article is the Parrot Lady of Gajraho. So this is the highlighted part, and let us discuss in this article. The government is planning to showcase repatriated artifacts, and here is the theme of first G20 Cultural Working Group, the protection and restitution of the cultural property. So this was the theme for the first G20 Cultural Working Group, which happened in the state of Madhya Pradesh. And the artifacts, you should know what is meant by the artifacts. Simple objects which shows the human workmanship or modification are stamped as distinguished from the natural object. They may be tool or maybe an ornament, or it may be a statue. And here is the description for the Parrot Lady. And it was stolen from Gajraho, and it returned to India by the Canadian PM in the year of 2017. So under the UNESCO Convention of 1970, so the possession or the trafficking of the cultural properties is a crime. So this is the provision which is present in the UNESCO 1970 guidelines. And based on that, the Canadian PM, he had returned back the Parrot Lady to India. So in the past, it was stolen by the traffickers, and they actually sold the artifact to the citizen in Canada. And after the investigations, the agencies, they stated that it was a cultural property of India. So the message, it was passed to the Canadian government, and in return, the Canada government, they returned the Parrot Lady. And the material used to make the Parrot Lady was sandstone. So, and the Parrot Lady, it was almost 900 years old. So it belongs to the 11th to 12th century. So these are all the few basic facts you should know about the Parrot Lady. And this is the statue. Okay, so in the previous in the article itself they had given. So this is the Parrot Lady. Kindly have a look. And Amin pillars, it is the second most important one. And the description they had given, it belongs to the 2nd century BC, approximately the Shunga time period. Okay, so the material used to make the Amin pillars are red sandstone, And the Yaksha and the Yakshini images in the Amin pillar was also recovered from UK. So kindly have a look. And the Khajuraho temple, you might have known, it was traced back to the era of Chandlas. So the Chandlas, they ruled in the Madhya Pradesh region between the timeline of 950 to 1050 AD. So in Khajuraho, various monuments are there and several temples are there, like Parvati temple, Lakshman temple, then Chitragupta temple, then Kandarya Mahadeva temple, then Pashwanath temple, then Nandi temple. These are all the few temples which have been locating in the Khajuraho. And in Khajuraho, both Shaivite, Vaishnavite and Jain temples are there. So under the Hindu segment, we are having Vaishnavite and Shaivite temples, and Jain temples are also there. Kandarya Mahadeva temple is a Hindu temple, and these temples, they are located in the Vindhyan mountain range. And the Khajuraho temple, it is in the UNESCO World Heritage Site, and UNESCO, it placed it in the Heritage Site list in the year of 1986, and they all follow the Nagara style architecture symbolism. In the Nagara style, the height of the gopuram will be increasing whenever you are traveling inside the temple. So this is how the gopuram size will be increasing whenever you are traveling inside the Nagara architecture. And it was reported by Al-Biruni and Ibn Battuta in the year of 1022 and 1335. And the Al-Hind book also having the keynote of Khajurahos. So that's it, friends. Now let us dive into the prelims question part. And here is the first question for you. It is related to the OG-US. So it is a tripartite agreement. And here in the first statement, they had given that it is an informal security partnership exists among UK, France, US and Australia. It is a tripartite agreement which exists between the UK, US and Australia and not France. And this tripartite agreement, it has been affecting the interest of France. So under the agreement, the US will be transferring its submarine propulsion technology to the Australia. So therefore, the second statement is alone right, because under the agreement, it already provided the technology to UK, and now it have been going to transfer the technology to Australia. Therefore, the statement B alone is the right. So don't get trapped by the extreme word all. Extreme word all is all about the agreement. So in the agreement, only 3 countries are there. The US already they transferred technology to UK, and now they are going to transfer the technology to Australia. So the statement B is the right one. And here is the question is related to the Khajuraho temple complex. And Chausat Yogini temple is the first option. Kandarya Mahadeva temple is the second one. Lakshman temple, Parvati temple, Chitragupta temple. Chausat Yogini temple, in our previous discussion, we had a discussion about this temple. So it have been appearing in the newspaper. So this is also in the Khajuraho temple complex. And the Kandarya is there, Lakshman is there, Parvati is there, Chitragupta is there. Apart from that, Pashwanath temple is also there. So all the options are there. So answer option D is the right one. And here is the question number 3. Zagaidan Delaram recently appeared in news is related to the key checkpost in Syria. And with respect to the Syria, we don't find any key checkpost in the newspapers. So answer option A is wrong. Even in the Syrian conflict, we didn't find any key checkpost like that and all terms in the newspaper. So the answer option A is wrong. And devastated land parcels in Turkey. In Turkey, almost 80% of the Turkey, it was collapsed because of the earthquake, recent earthquake. So we don't have any terms related to the Zagaidan and Delaram and all. So the answer option B is also wrong. Then the third one, cities in Iran and Afghanistan. That is true. From Chabahar port, we are having a railway line to Zagaidan. And okay. Here is the Zagaidan. So from Chabahar to Zagaidan, we are having a railway route. Then we are having a garland route, okay, which have been connecting the Mazar-e-Sharif, Kandahar, and even Ghazni is also here, okay. So these are all the regions which have been connected by the Garland Highway, and Kabul is also there in the Garland Highway. Then, which means answer option C is the right one. And here the statement is too confusing. Ancient temple monuments discovered in central Indian plains. So by seeing the name Ram, most of the people, if they are unaware of the Afghanistan related current affairs means they will be marking answer option D is the right one. So D is also the wrong one. Answer option C is the right answer for the question number 3. That's it, friends. Let me catch you in another analysis tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.